Why St. John struggles, even with the biggest refinery in Canada. People often ask the same question. How can St. John host the largest oil refinery in Canada and still struggle with poverty, low wages, and limited opportunity? On the surface, it doesn't make sense. But the answer isn't laziness. It isn't a lack of work ethic. And it isn't a lack of industry. It's structural. St. John is a production city, not a wealth retention city. That distinction matters. Yes, St. John is home to Canada's largest refinery. Yes, enormous value is created here. Fuel is refined here, shipped from here, and exported from here. So the assumption is simple. If wealth is created here, people here should benefit. But that assumption is where the misunderstanding begins. Industrial output does not automatically translate into local prosperity. In St. John, much of the value created here does not stay here. Profits are centralized. Decisions are centralized. And the city functions primarily as a production site inside a much larger corporate ecosystem. This is what people mean when they talk about concentration. It's not about blaming a family or individuals. It's about understanding how a concentrated economy behaves. No company legally sets wages across New Brunswick. But when one corporate ecosystem dominates contracts, supply chains, and margins, it effectively anchors the market. Here's how that works. Contract prices are set first. Contractors must bid low to win work. Labor costs get squeezed, and wages settle at the lowest sustainable level. This doesn't affect just one type of worker. It affects truck drivers, forestry workers, custodians, security guards, food service staff, convenience store workers, administrative and support jobs. Entire job categories begin to share the same ceiling. Service jobs are hit hardest. These are the jobs that keep everything running: retail, cleaning, security, food services, maintenance, and logistics support. They don't produce a physical product. They depend on contracts and margins. And in a concentrated economy, they are the first wages held down and the last to rise. That's why so many people work full-time and still struggle. This is not a personal failure. It's a bargaining power problem. And here's the hard truth. Markets do not self-correct when one buyer or ecosystem dominates. They stagnate without real competition, without diversified employers, without stronger labor leverage, without local ownership and reinvestment. The struggle continues. St. John struggles not because it lacks industry, but because it lacks bargaining power. This is the first in a series explaining why New Brunswickers work hard and still struggle, and what would actually need to change. This is the Canadian Citizens Journal.